What do you think investors are watching closest?
Yep. Well, I think they're looking to see who might be the nominee. And we look to the 2018 election and see if that gave us any clues. Does the Democratic Party want to pick someone from the left? Does the Democratic Party want to pick someone from the center? They look to see that if we get someone who comes out of the Midwest and they're able to convert Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, there is no chance for Donald Trump to get reelected if all the other states stay the same. And if they do that, kind of what policies do the next president bring? What impact does that have on the regulatory environment, on M&A, tax policy coming out of Congress post-2020?
Jim, what do you think the key factor is for President Trump in terms of his potential re-election? Is it who his candidate, who his opponent, is, or is he in control of his own destiny? And if so, what are the factors you're looking out for in the next year or two?
Well, I think he's largely in control of his own destiny. He's got two paths he can follow. One would be a path involving a bad Mueller report, impeachment, failure to get trade deals done, a bad economy, and a budget standoff, or even a government shutdown in November. That would be a negative path. The positive path would be a continued strong economy, solid trade deals, no impeachment, and no shutdown at the end of the year, rather smooth sailing, which may actually happen now that Trump has made his point with this emergency action on building the wall. So it's up to Trump to see how far he gets and what his status as president is at the end of the year. And after that, investors will decide whether they go into risk-on mode or risk-off mode. Do they flip the political risk switch at the end of the year and prepare for a new administration? Or do they bet that Trump will beat any opponent because the economy is supporting him?
Ed, as the market tries to sort out the potential Democratic nominee, I mean, obviously what we're looking for in part is the policy mix that seems to be gaining traction as part of the message of whoever the nominee is. And to what extent right now can we make an assessment as to the kinds of things relating to business, the economy, taxes that are going to matter that much in the campaign?
Yeah, I think that's right. I think if the kind of Democratic Party looks like they're going to select Elizabeth Warren or Bernie Sanders, there's going to be a lot more concern because their brand is running against Wall Street. And so that's a real concern for investors. If Democrats look like they're choosing a Joe Biden or an Amy Klobuchar, those are candidates that are more middle of the road. And I think that they would say, hey, that's actually a lot better than what we would have anticipated. The big debate there is, does the market want a middle-of-the-road Democrat, or do they want to see Trump reelected? And right now, I think that is an inconclusive debate there on the street. But finally, I think what the market will be looking for, as much as they're going to be focused on the president, they're also going to have to be focused on the Senate, because ultimately, Republicans have a majority there and would be able to block any kind of cabinet pick if they don't like them, if it is a more liberal Democrat in the White House, or they'd also be able to stop some of the kind of use of budget reconciliation, which is a really big deal when it comes to taxes. It's a really big deal when it comes to other domestic priorities. That's how ultimately we got the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare. So the market will be looking at the presidential race, but they will be almost equally looking at the Senate to see about the policies that could be adopted with that president in the White House.
So bottom line, Jim, if we get one of the farther left candidates to ultimately become the Democratic nominee in a race against Donald Trump, are we going to see a pickup in market volatility?
I think so. I think that as Joe Biden has aged, he's become a political gaffe machine. I really wouldn't expect him to last long in the primary environment. On the other hand, we could have 3 or 4 Democratic candidates taking it all the way to the convention, whether it's Harris and Sanders or Beto or a Klobuchar or a Gillibrand. Any one of these candidates could continue to raise money online and millions of dollars a month, and so you'd have a real contest among Democratic candidates. You wouldn't see a single unified Democratic agenda until the summer, and that's when investors would really start making bets on what sort of health care regulation there would be, financials regulation or energy regulation. It depends on the candidate, and we just don't know for quite a while.